So after Team USA wrapped up their gold medal, I made my way back up to Stade de France one last time for the closing ceremony. So it was a really fun atmosphere. You really did feel like the entire world was there at Stade de France. It is pretty fun seeing all the different countries represented out here. A lot of people wearing their flags and also shirts with their country on them. They gave everyone LED wristbands. They were passing out these wristbands, and so you figured there was going to be a light show at some point during the evening. I ended up sitting pretty much like second to last row in the stadium, which I thought actually gave me a really good vantage point, so I really liked it. The ceremony began with the Parade of Nations, so all the flag bearers came in, and then the athletes from each country paraded in, creating like a striation of colors of different nations, and that was visually stunning to see as well. Just the amount of people, amount of humanity out on the field, out in the stadium. They followed that up with the medal ceremony for the women's marathon.
Olympic champion,
It was a beautiful ceremony. The way they set it up with all the colors and then the Olympic box for President Macron and Thomas Bach and all the delegates, dignitaries from other nations, it looked like something out of Star Wars. Really cool scene with the sunset. And then it went into the light show with the LED bracelets. The animation for this was pretty impressive. I was sitting there trying to figure out if they were geolocating the position of the person by seat to then create the animations. The whole mood of the animation and this portion of it felt like something out of Metroid or Zelda, the sound design. And then you saw the reveal of this golden figure. It was pretty small from my perspective, but I looked up and I was like, is that somebody in gold coming down from the top? And indeed it was. The descent took a while. I probably could have started on my taxes during that time because it was taking forever, but it was dramatic for drama's sake. And then the other part that was just kind of bananas for me was when the animation finished. And then they had all the different actors dropping down from the top of the roof.
Oh my God.
That was incredible. So then there was the performance of putting the rings together, creating the rings. I know it was pretty abstract. Understanding that the stage was made in the shapes of the continents of the world, I didn't really put it together until later because from my vantage point, I didn't see that perspective. But knowing how many actors and actresses were out there performing, it was pretty ridiculous. I think they had several thousand people out on the stages creating this scene.
Please don't stand on the stage. Please get down from the stage. Thank you, dear athletes.
Then you had H.E.R, you had Phoenix, you had Angèle come out, and there's some other acts. I honestly was hoping for Daft Punk to come out. That would have melted Paris, in my opinion, if they had come back out for a reunion. But that didn't happen. But Phoenix was great. I've seen him several times, and so it was a fun show. And then the athletes, they were having a great time. They had their own party going on. They were breakdancing on one side of the stadium, and everyone was just having a great time watching them. I don't know if it showed up on TV or not, but that was really fun to see. And then we had the passing of the Olympic flag from Paris to LA, from Anne Hidalgo to Karen Bass, both who are the first women mayors of their respective cities. And then her, she sang the Star-Spangled Banner, which was something I didn't expect. I didn't expect to hear America's national anthem at Stade de France that night. That was a really nice moment, really glad that happened there. And then as rumored, Tom Cruise, he showed up, rappelled from the top of the stadium all the way down. It was pretty quick when he did it, so pretty impressive at his age. One of my friends was like, he should have came via the balloon and jumped off of that, which I think would have been pretty amazing if they pulled that off. But he came down, got the flag, got on the motorcycle, and went off. And then they went to the film portion in LA. And a lot of people were hoping that Billie Eilish, Snoop Dogg, Red Hot Chili Peppers, whoever the acts were gonna be there in Paris at Stade de France. But it was a performance in California, and it kind of killed the mood. It looked tape delayed, or it looked taped. And so they were pumping in crowd noise to kind of keep the energy up, but people were kind of zoned out at that point. I think people were going to use the bathroom as well. You also had Léon Marchand bringing the flame to the stadium and then extinguishing it with that group of athletes representing the different areas of the world, which is really nice. And naturally, there was a chanting of Léon when he came in. He skyrocketed and became a huge superstar here during the games with his amazing performance. Thomas Bach did something where he, at the end of his speech, he said, "That's it."
We celebrate with all of us the games of the 34th Olympiad. That's it.
And a lot of people took that to mean that the ceremony was over. So people started emptying out, which is really unfortunate, in my opinion, when he did that, because people didn't know that there was still more left.
And so I faced the final curtain.
So by the time the final performance came on, there was this woman dressed in black. It looked like she was in funeral attire, and then she started singing My Way. When she started singing it, it was pretty unexpected because it's such an American song. It's Sinatra, and so I didn't think that would be the song that they would choose to end the Olympics here in Paris. But I remember a few years ago, I went down this wormhole and remembered that this song was actually originally French, but the lyrics were totally different. It was about going through the motions of a fledgling marriage. And it was rewritten for Sinatra to be this anthemic, looking back kind of anthem. And so I thought maybe it was a bridge for the Olympic Games going from Paris to LA. In any case, I was trying to figure out who the singer was because I was like, she didn't really have a French accent when she was singing in English, which was really impressive. Later on, I found out it was Yseult. Everyone in the crowd was just stunned by this performance. And then you had this amazing fireworks show after that that felt so surreal. that was an amazing, amazing way to end the games. So for me, it was a great privilege to be able to attend these games in person, fulfilled a dream I had when I was a kid. And also, one of the biggest motivators for me to learn French again after so many years was to attend these games and be able to interact with people, talk with people, and speak French to people and be understood, which is probably one of the hardest things. And so that was a really great, unique aspect of attending these games and being able to meet people from here and talk to them. And I have to give Paris its flowers, the people who put these games together, their flowers. It was undeniably, unbelievably, a once-in-a-lifetime chance to be able to experience the games this way. I grew up watching those Bud Greenspan Olympic films and being inspired by that work. And so being able to come here and experience it in person, seeing these athletes, seeing all these people live out their dreams is something that I will remember until the day I die. And it was funny, when I was in Lille, there was a guy with a cap, and on the side of it, he had a phrase stitched in it, and it's Je me reposerai quand je mourrai. I think that's what it was. But basically it was, I'll rest when I die. And so the games were that. There was a lot going on. You could have lived several lifetimes and not seen everything. I feel they had so much to offer, but there was something for everyone here. And that's what made it great. So there was a moment during the Olympics when Kevin Durant was asked about patriotism and playing for Team USA and playing for your country. And he had, I felt like, one of the most dialed in responses during these Olympics. And it was such a great quote. And he was just like, basically, there's a lot of BS that happens in our country, but there are also a lot of great people doing great things in our country. There was a lot of hesitancy, there was a lot of concerns and worries about these Olympic Games. The world is a very imperfect place. And so I felt like these games really exemplified the greatness of people, for them to be able to do what they did, to be able to bring people together, and just to be able to celebrate people from around the world. One of the most touching things for me was seeing the refugees, their boat during the opening ceremony, and being able to represent the Olympics as refugees, because my family were literally boat people. I was born in a refugee camp myself, and to see the Olympic Games give these people that opportunity to compete and just to be human spoke a lot about the spirit of the Games.
And I think we are here telling a story through song at the Olympics with people who deserve that voice. And I'm nothing but grateful to have been a part of their story and to be writing our own here in Paris as well. It feels like when we met with the refugees, the refugee team after the performance we had yesterday at Club France, we could just see the twinkle in their eye. Obviously, they're really enjoying being at the Games, and I think that's really the kind of the kind of bubble of energy that's been created here in Paris, and it's the experience of a lifetime, to be honest.
And then for those of you who were able to attend the Games, I hope you had a great time. I hope some of this resonated with you. I'm sure you had an amazing experience yourself. And hopefully the Olympic Games in LA will be just as amazing in their own unique way. And with that, à bientôt. I'll see you soon.